It being 6:30 p.m. on November 19th, 2025, this meeting is called to order. The meeting of the Brockton Conservation Commission. It is being conducted remotely in accordance with Governor Healy's open meeting provision extension signed on March 28th, 2025, which extends access to certain remote and hybrid meetings until June 30th, 2027. Real-time public participation and comments can be addressed to the Conservation Commission utilizing the Zoom virtual meeting software for remote access. If you wish to comment during the public input portion of the hearing, please use the raise your hand function to be addressed at the appropriate time. For those of you joining by phone only, please press *9 and raise your hand. A copy of this recording will be on the city's webpage. Please note that this is a professional meeting. Should disrespectful or inappropriate statements be made during the meeting, the host reserves the right to mute the speaker. All votes taken during this meeting will be done by roll call vote to ensure count accuracy. To assure that we do have quorum, commissioners, if you would state your first and last name, please.
Ruby Clay.
Teresa Mapp.
Justin Talbot.
Joyce Voris. And Kyle, do you see if Leon is in the waiting area?
Yeah, I don't see him in the attendees list here.
In the attendees list?
Mm-mm.
Okay. But nevertheless, with 4 of us present, we do have quorum. Okay, so we will be having a special meeting on December 2nd, Tuesday, December 2nd, at which time we'll be taking up agenda items number 1 and 2, as well as all of the current filings that, other than new filings. Tonight, we'll just be dealing with the new filings, which is number 1 through 13 on the agenda.
Madam Chair, before we move on, I do have an additional announcement.
Okay, please do.
So we haven't posted the 2026 meeting dates and deadlines yet, but based upon some discussions around the office, I think that moving forward, beginning in 2026, we are going to have a 3-week filing deadline 3 weeks prior to the meeting date. I found that 2 weeks, which is what we currently have, a 2-week kind of lead into the meeting date, just doesn't give us enough time to deal with like getting the legal notices posted and things like that. So just an FYI for people that are looking to apply for the January meeting, the filing deadline for that first meeting in January, I think it's like the 17th or 21st of January. It'll be December 31st of this year. So just that'll be posted and updated online in the next week or so. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for our frequent applicants.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is number 3, a notice of intent for 55 Christie's Drive. Hi, Mr. Faria.
Good evening, Madam Chair. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Kyle, can you tell me if the abutters notification and the DEP file number has been issued?
Yeah, abutters have been properly notified, and DEP did issue a file number along with some technical comments for this. Would you like me to read those off?
Yes, please.
Okay, so these are the technical comments. The Mass DEP wetland change database indicates that there is a wetland change on a portion of the project, which is we'll look at that in a moment. It's the left parcel that we're looking at here. Please investigate the status of this wetland change and whether it was authorized by the local order of conditions. The wetland change areas are available for review, and then it gives a website link. That's it.
So that's historical change? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think the change was detected around 2005. This is basically on the Massachusetts Mass Mapper. They have like a shapefile where they think wetlands are, and they will check that occasionally. If like a new development is within what they thought was wetland, it just gets flagged. So it doesn't necessarily mean these wetland shapes aren't like ground truth necessarily. It's just where the state, based upon soil tests and elevation and things like that, where they think wetlands are. So it's not indicative of a violation necessarily, but we do need to be aware of that and look into it and make sure there wasn't a violation that occurred there.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Faria.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
Happening.
Good evening, Commission members. Scott Faria, Holmgren Engineering. Tonight I've got a proposed hotel on Christie's Drive to present to you folks. I'll attempt to share my screen if I may, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, please do.
It says sharing is not turned on.
Well, let's blame Isaiah for that.
Yeah, that's my fault. I just turned it on for you, Scott.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Oh, good evening, Leon. I see you're here. Oh, is that?
I'm here.
Hi,
How's it going?
good. Thank you.
1 second, Madam Chair.
Certainly. You're getting good at this.
Do you see anything?
I see the choices of Christie's Drive site plan and well
Yeah.
plan.
You're going to want to take back that statement about getting good at it, Madam Chair.
One more click.
I'm not seeing anything at all, Madam Chair.
I've got a
Oh.
pull up, Scott. I can share if you would like.
You want to retract that statement?
No, it's okay. You do it. No, it's always improvement. It's okay.
I'm sorry. All right. Sheet
Oh, it's okay.
C2, Kyle, would be the,
C2? Okay.
yeah, the existing condition. So again, I've got a proposed hotel project on Christie's Drive for Calm Properties. They're the developers of the new hotel that's been under construction on Westgate Drive next to Shields MRI. That was a little bit of a smaller hotel. In this case, Mr. Patel is doing I'm going to stop sharing, Kyle, is doing a much larger hotel on this vacant piece of property. So the properties, there you go. Thank you, Kyle. So the properties are a little bit different. There's an existing office building on one side of the property, and then there's a vacant lot next to it, plot 13, where Mr. Patel will be building his hotel. So the existing brick office building, if you've ever gone there, that's going to remain, and then the hotel will be off to the side of that on this site. So it's a it's a considerable development. This site was, like a lot of this industrial park, was developed back in the 80s and the early 90s. This office building doesn't really have all that much in line of current stormwater management guidelines. So as part of our development, we don't get to treat this as a redevelopment since we're adding so much impervious surface. We pretty much have to look at it as a brand new project. So because of that, we have to do drainage and stormwater management for the existing parking area as well as our proposed parking area. If we could just fast forward to us for a second, Kyle, maybe to sheet 5, I believe. That will show our drainage right there, Kyle. If that's 4, yeah, sheet 4, then that would be fine. So this one still shows the brick office building. As you're looking at your screen, to the left is the 120 room hotel. And as part of that, you can see the drainage improvements that we're making. Also, there's one other item that we're adding, again, because the existing parking lot wasn't designed with stormwater management in mind, that wasn't effective way back in the day. We have to propose a stone channel along again, as you're looking at your screen, on the right-hand side of the existing parking area, just to provide some treatment, exactly right what Kyle's moving his cursor. We have to provide some treatment for the water that's shedding off of the existing parking lot, heading over to the large wetland area on the eastern side that's on the abutting property. So we've proposed a 5-foot wide stone channel all the way up and down our property that will help treat that water. And we also have our subsurface drainage improvements, and then also some catch basins that are discharging into that wetland area as well. So where really most of our work is outside of your buffer zone, but because it's a kind of looked at as a brand new project, needing to do those buffer zone, those stormwater improvements, it puts a portion of our property within your buffer zone and in your jurisdiction. So obviously, being the first meeting, we're just hoping to introduce it to you folks and to agree to have it sent out for a peer review so we can begin that process and come back to you folks in another couple of meetings, hopefully with an agreed upon plan from your peer review agent, and we could discuss it further at that time, Madam Chair.
What is that big central rectangle that's all like blocked off? Is that
That's,
a
yeah, that's the
underground
subsurface. Yeah, that's the subsurface drain.
retention?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's a, you can see it's a big area. Those, those systems cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's, crazy the amount of money that it costs as part of these projects, those subsurface systems. But obviously, in this case, we can't afford to build a pond on the site. We just don't have the room for it. So we have no choice to put it than to put it underground. So
Now, on the surface of that, does it have to be semi-permeable, or can you tar over the top of that?
yeah, we pave right over it, and you'll
Yeah.
drive over it and never know it's there. Just the catch basins and manholes tie right into it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And do you know where on this map was the statement about DEP that the DEP said?
Yeah, if you can go back to sheet 2, Kyle, it's this whole area. There's a few vacant properties. We were before you folks a few months ago with the hotel across the street where he was looking to put an addition on the hotel right at the
Yep.
corner of Christie's Place and Christie's Drive. That lot, this lot here, there's a few up the road at Christie's Place. There's a couple of vacant lots. There's been a lot of earthwork, over the last 30 or 40 years, building the road. These lots, the lot across the street and this lot are, were cleared at one point. They're kind of this scrubby growth back there now, just from the 30 or 40 years. If you look at this one, the lot at kind of the lower left-hand corner of our of plot 13, you can see all those contours kind of in a circle. It's a there's a hill there, and it's not a natural hill. It's just where all the fill has been placed. There's also one in the property next door, another hill. So as part of the industrial park construction, everything is stripped and moved. They cleared everything, and this was just one of the areas that they stockpiled it. So to be honest with you, I haven't gone back to look at the historical photos, but I would bet that as part of the kind of the stripping in the construction, there was probably a kind of a low area that was left over, essentially a puddle that was left at some point during the excavation. It's not, as I said, it's not natural ground at this point. It's been disturbed 30 and 40 years ago. So as far as I can tell, the brook is north of our site. Again, that was abutting the previous hotel that you folks looked at for me back a few months ago. And then we have this large wetland area way off to the right of our property, off our property. So there's really nothing within a couple hundred feet of this site in either direction that it could be connected to. And as I said, the office building was permitted through the Conservation Commission back 30 years ago. So those plans, and all of the plans for the developments around here would show this property and would show that historically there was not a wetland shown on the property. So I think as we get further into it, and I'm sure your peer review agent will look into it deeper as well. But I know at my office, I have a lot of these site plans, going back 30 and 40 years ago. I'm sure I could dig up the original site plan for this office building that would show this vacant piece and just show, at least at the time of construction back in the 80s, there was no wetland there. So I'll see if I can dig that up and send that to Kyle just to put our mind at ease on that.
Okay, thank you. And so
Thank-
Kyle, within that spot, they're saying there could potentially be new wetland. Is that what?
Not necessarily new wetland, but the state thought that there was a change around 2005. The areas in question here, it's not exact, but there's a little wooded area,
Mhm.
or cleared area that's right in this portion. That's like the low area around where the state thinks there, and it does encroach slightly into this parcel here. So this is kind of the area of concern right up here. But
Okay.
I can show you on Mass Mapper later on. We can look that up.
Mr. Holden, would you like to?
Yeah, sure. Ultimately, I agree with Scott. This will need to go out for peer review for that stormwater piece, and we'll just let them do all of the review for the commission. However, I do, as I was reviewing the site plan here, Scott, I did note that there are several things that are omitted, or maybe you can just draw my attention to them, that I think that we need to address kind of before we send this out for review. So, First thing, I didn't see the vertical datum information. It may be on here, but we should clarify that if it isn't.
Okay,
Um,
it is, yeah, it is NAD 88 just because of the floodplain issue. So it's not city base. It would be NAVD 88, but I'll make sure it should be on the plan of,
I may have
can't-
missed it. It's very easy to miss, but
Yep.
we'll make sure that that is on there.
Sure.
I didn't see any information about the wetland delineation, so we'll need to make sure that was done recently.
Okay.
And it was a fresh delineation. And then, we already spoke about a response of some sort to the DEP technical comments about that wetland. So if that's just you digging up these old plans, that's fine. We should have some response to provide to the peer reviewer.
Sure.
And then finally, I didn't see any erosion controls proposed, on the eastern portion of the site. I may have just missed it, but we should look at that and make sure that we have a defined limit of work and erosion controls where they're appropriate.
There should, I would guess on sheet 7, I'm gonna guess, Kyle. Should be the erosion, sediment and erosion control plan.
You just went by.
Okay, so here's this, right?
Yep.
Sediment and erosion control. I just didn't see it marked on the plan at all.
Yeah, you may be right, Kyle. I don't see it either.
So in any case, we should look at that and revise the plan set to include those
Yep.
things before we send it out for review.
It's certainly
That's the
intended.
thing they're going to say, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll save us a couple of pages and 5 or 10 comments.
Right.
So, no, I appreciate that. We'll certainly make those changes before you send it out.
Okay. Commissioners, are there any questions? Any concerns?
None for me.
No.
Seems pretty cut and dry.
Same.
Okay. Then I'd entertain a motion then to send this out for peer review. Pending those changes, right, Kyle, that you needed the,
Yeah.
Second a motion for sending 55 Christie's Drive for peer review.
who made the motion?
Did you make the motion?
No,
Oh, I didn't even make the mo-
I
yep,
just
let me make it.
Entertained a
Yep,
request.
I
yes.
make the motion to send 55 Christie's Drive for peer review.
I second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
For a side.
Leon, aye.
Okay, that motion passes. So we would have to continue that then, right?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I believe we have a couple people, the attendees that wish to
I'm
speak
sorry,
about this
absolutely.
filing.
Sorry,
That's
public.
the hearing is still open actively. We
Yeah.
just voted to send this out for a peer review, so
Yeah,
we're fine.
yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. Yeah, okay, let's do that vote then to continue to the next meeting or maybe we should hear from the public first in case there's
Right. I think that would be
some
the
information that
proper
needs to be
order is to hear from the
discussed.
public and then vote to continue.
And then we'll continue, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um, I have promoted whomever had their hand raised. It's some realty
Yeah, Miles, yeah.
uh,
Hi, how are you?
company.
Hello,
My name is Vanessa Gumbert and I am the abutter.
I'm sorry, may I didn't hear your name.
Vanessa Gumbert.
Hi, Vanessa Benbert.
Nice to meet you.
Go ahead, please.
I am the abutter to the property to the east, south, and west of the proposed hotel, being lot 111, 112, 113, and 116. And I am calling on behalf of Belmont Street South and Belmont Street North. And I am inquiring regarding on sheet 5, the what appears to be some kind of dumping into the parcel that we own and pay taxes on. So I'm just wanting to know if that's authorized and how so.
Kyle, might we see that map again?
Yeah, give me a moment to pull that up. I believe that this is the outlet that Scott had mentioned briefly there.
Yep.
So give me a second
Yes.
here, Scott. If you, I'll pull that up in a moment. But Scott, if you have a response
Sure.
Ms.
through the
Denver,
chair.
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
I think, once Kyle calls it up, we can look at it closer, but as Kyle said, it's the area that I was speaking to. It's at the southern end of our existing parking lot. There's a catch basin that drains into that wetland area that Ms. Gumbert was speaking of. And because of our reconstruction and adding curbing to the parking lot, we need to replace that existing catch basin with a new modern catch basin that meets all of the stormwater requirements with a hood, deep sumps, things like that, and then redo the pipe that's currently there. So, yeah, as Kyle said, it's kind of at the very bottom right-hand corner of the property, right there where Kyle's wiggling it around. So there's an existing pipe that goes there that was part of the original development. So we're just because we need to place a new catch basin on the property that's taking place of the old one. We're redoing that pipe and just, I guess, kind of freshening up that outlet. Right now, as I said, it's 20 years old or 30 years old at this point. So the riprap's overgrown and it's really not doing its job as far as scour protection goes. So we're just looking to update that by putting in new riprap in the new pipe.
Kyle,
But
is there any way to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're not increasing the flow there. It's still the same amount of the parking lot that's going to the catch basin. It's just we're replacing the catch basin essentially with a new catch basin. So it's still the same amount of runoff that's always been going to that wetland system that'll be going after we complete that reconstruction.
Kyle, is there any way we could see that lower corner? I'm not sure where her property boundaries are. Oh, no, I mean, the other way, but yeah, great.
This is the area here that they're speaking about. Is this what you would like to see?
No, I just wasn't sure exactly where the property boundaries were.
Yeah,
this,
so
this
it-
gold line here going north.
Yeah.
And then
So Vanessa
along the
owns,
bottom-
yeah, the property that has the wetland on it is the Belmont Street property. Then the one directly below that, and the one to the left, you can see it says Belmont Street South LLC 801 Pleasant Street. So they've got those three properties kind of around on Pleasant Street and then heading up to Christie's Drive.
I guess I don't see the Belmont Street, but okay, thank you.
So I obviously am just, wanting to know if this is authorized and how so.
What the stormwater management?
With regard to connecting to the property that we own and pay taxes on.
So the commission is tasked with reviewing the proposal for compliance with state and local stormwater standards. So that's part of the reason that we're sending this out for peer review, and our
Okay.
peer reviewer will confirm compliance with those standards.
With regard to dumping onto someone else's property, whether
I
that's
mean,
permitted
water
or not.
always has to go somewhere. So yeah, that would be inclusive in this. And so if it meets the state and local standards, that's what we're building to, is those regulations, right?
Yes, no, I understand that. It's just the property owner doesn't not have any authority to determine whether or not water goes into their property or not.
Water flows downhill, and that's it's got to go. I understand the concern. I don't know that this is the forum for this tonight. You're welcome to submit a letter to the commission, and I can put that in the file and make sure that the peer reviewer is aware of that concern, and we can even maybe have them answer that formally in one of their peer review letters. But I'm not an engineer. I'm not an expert on the stormwater standards. And that's why we have our consultants do that work for the commission.
Okay.
So Vanessa, there is some water that must be leaving there now, correct? And going into that wetland?
Yes.
Okay. And you're just concerned about the additional runoff, is that it?
Well, I am. I'm concerned about it because it looks like they're adding a lot more of parking lot to this area that's going to be draining in there. And we
Mhm.
have the properties around it, and we've paid taxes on this parcel for 50 years. So I just feel as though we should have some say in how it is utilized. I don't know.
There are fairly rigorous standards for stormwater, for especially for developments like this, um, which is exactly why they have to go out for peer review. They have to be reviewed by engineers.
Okay.
So, and just to reiterate, we're not confirming this now, but Scott mentioned that there's going to be no increased flow based upon the proposed design into that parcel, right? So the flow that's going that way is not going to be any larger than what it is now, even though the area of the parking lot is larger because they're expanding that lot to the west. That based upon elevations and grading of the parking lot, part of that water will be going into this treatment area between the two buildings. Rather than going like this pipe's not going to handle all the water for the entire parking lot. So that's based upon the stormwater design. And that's part of what will be reviewed by the reviewer to make sure that there's not increased flow going off of the site.
Scott, I see it says a proposed 4-foot wide trench. How deep is that trench?
It's a foot deep. Yep, a foot deep, and again, that's to treat that water. Right now, there is no curbing. We typically have curbing on the edge of the parking lots to catch the water, get it into the catch basins, into our system so it can clean it before it hits the wetland. Right now, that whole parking lot just sheds from the building over to the east into that wetland area. So that stone, that 4-foot wide stone trench just gives us an opportunity to clean all of that water before it hits that wetland like it's done for the last since the property's been developed.
Mhm.
So I guess just to wrap this up, the applicant, so Scott and his team have to demonstrate to the commission that the proposed work here meets all of those stormwater standards. And that's our peer reviewer will be in that dialogue with the applicant. And all this stuff is publicly available. So once Scott gets a finalized plan set to me, I send it out to the peer reviewer. Once that's selected, they'll put together a comment letter and say, hey, applicant, you need to do X, Y, and Z to the plan set to bring it into compliance. And there may be several rounds of these, comments and responses. And at the end of that process, hopefully, at that point, the plan set will the commission can approve the plan set based upon that review. And at any point in there, all these comment letters are public. You can review them yourself if you have concerns about the work that's being done. It's all available for review. Additionally, in addition to the peer review that the commission is doing, it's all available. You can look at it, if you're concerned about that.
And how long does this process usually take?
It varies, honestly. Depends on the workload of the applicant. We try to be pretty quick on our end, getting a response back after we receive revised materials. Our turnaround is, I think the target's like 3 weeks to have a response back to the applicant. But on our agenda, we have some applicants that haven't responded for 6 months to a comment letter. So it just varies.
Okay.
And I do have one more question, Kyle. Is the 25-foot and 50-foot demonstrated on this map?
Well, we'll want to confirm that after we have the proper delineation, because right
Okay.
now the wetland delineation, we have no information about when that was flagged, how accurate this
Okay.
is. I didn't go out there and,
Okay.
and actually look at this because I couldn't find any information on the actual wetland delineation. So
Okay. So
once we get
okay.
these flags refreshed, we'll make sure that the new site plan has those boundaries
Great.
marked on there.
Good. Thank you.
And also, I just have one more comment regarding our tenants to the south and to the east. We have an early intervention playground and an adult medical daycare to the left. And I was just wanting to know whether it would be within the planning board or conservation to discuss fencing and screening.
Yeah, I think,
Conservation.
yeah, I think the planning board will definitely want us to screen those properties in particular, not the left side of our site and what would be the south side, the bottom of our property. I think they would definitely want us to screen that. I'm sure that'll be a comment that comes up at tech review.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I did see another hand raised, Madam Chair. I will look at that as well. Just a reminder, though, this is the first agenda item, and we have a long agenda tonight, so let's try to get this moving. Promoted M. Ross.
Hello, I'm Maureen Ross. I'm with Bamsey, who Vanessa was just talking about. So I think you already answered my question. She was asking about what we were going to do with the property that abuts. So it sounds like we would wait on that to discuss a fence. Is that accurate?
I would expect.
Ultimately, if there's going to be a fence that Scott, we haven't talked about getting this on tech review going through the site plan review process early, right? You'll probably wait until you get the whole order done with us before you take it to planning board.
The way it's been going to 2 tech reviews. So I'd like to get one done before we finalize with you guys, just in case we have to make significant changes.
All right, a fence addition is not a major addition here, so we will begin the tech review process at some point down the line, and incorporate comments from the planning department, the building department, anybody else, health often comments and things like this, fire department.
Yep.
And we'll make sure all those concerns that those other various city departments raise are incorporated in the plan set that the commission ultimately approves.
Yep.
Including a fence.
Exactly.
Maureen, is that it?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make sure we put that out there that
Absolutely.
as Vanessa said, it's early intervention, so it's people that are very vulnerable and they have to be out there. They're out there all the time, even in the winter. So that's why we wanted to bring it up.
It's early in the process, but we really do appreciate your input. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
And just to reiterate, if Vanessa, if you want a formal response, write something out about that runoff and the amount of runoff. Write something up, send it to me. I think you've got my email. I can incorporate that request into the peer review request that the commission sends out, and have the peer reviewer specifically address that as one of their comments.
Thank you.
Okay. Kyle, on your conclusions and recommendations, you had asked prior to sending it out for review that you wanted the plans revised and all of that.
Yeah, I think we can just, I'll work with Scott on that. I think we've got the vote from the commission. Once Scott, updates his plan set to hit all those things that we've mentioned today, he can send that over to me. I can then send the peer review request out.
Good. So we don't have to wait for another meeting.
Yep.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I would like to know, Commissioner, if someone would make a motion to continue to the next meeting. Well, that would not be the second, though. It would be the next meeting on the
Regularly
17th of
scheduled meeting,
December.
which I believe is
December
scheduled
17th.
for December 17th, Madam Chair.
Yeah, I think we should shoot for we're not going to be ready December 17th, Madam Chair. If we can shoot for the January meeting, I might not be ready then, but at least the January meeting will be more realistic.
I like to keep them all on the agenda because I will forget about them. So if you don't
Yeah.
mind, we'll just keep it to the December and
then continue at your request if you're not ready.
yeah.
That's fine with me. Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay.
So I make a motion to move 55 Christie Drive to the December 17th meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to continue to the 17th of December meeting. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, I.
Knapp, aye.
Talbot, I.
Boris, aye.
Leon, I.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you, folks. We'll see you soon.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is 0 Clarendon Street. It's a notice of intent. DT Engineering.
Yeah, there are
I'm on-
several people here, Madam Chair, to speak to this. So give me a minute to promote a couple
Have
people.
a butter notifications gone out and DEP file number been obtained?
Yeah, butter notifications did go out. And a DEP file number was issued with no technical comments.
Thank you. And let's see, who will be addressing us? Richard, Mr. Brewer, or?
He's the applicant, and then we've got Azu with ET Engineering to talk about the site plans.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Tunero. How are you?
Good evening, Madam Chair. Thank you for indulging us tonight. Thank you, members of the commission, and thank you, Kyle. And seeing that Kyle is an incredible file sharer, I'll request if you can, because that I still haven't advanced technologically in that province. So if you can share our plan, it's only one sheet, I believe. That would be wonderful. Excellent. Thank you. So we do have, Madam Chair, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Azure Teniru, registered professional engineer and a registered professional land surveyor in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. My firm, ET Engineering of 481 Bedford Street, Bridgewater, Massachusetts, was rehired by Right Way Construction of Mr. Brandon Brewer, I believe, who's joining us remotely as well. And his father, Richard Brewer. They are the applicants. This parcel they purchased from the city of Brockton. It's a parcel that has been in deplorable condition, that our neighbors, I don't know who in particular, but it was quite a dumping ground for people. So Mr. Richard and his son Brandon purchased the property from the city, and they've started to clean it up. And I believe Kyle informed them that there is some wetlands present, and that they shouldn't be doing any more work before without an approval by the Conservation Commission. And they ceased and stopped, I believe, and brought in Ken Thompson, who's a very reputable wetlands biologist and scientist, to delineate the wetlands. We did an underground survey, and we located the wetlands flags, and that is what is shown right here. The very light blue shows you the wetlands flags. As I'm looking at the screen, is the line to the extreme left. Thanks, Kyle. And then the solid blue line is a 25-foot buffer that we're showing. And then the gold line, or yellow, is the 50-foot. And then the 100 is the red. As we all know, the commission has a total jurisdiction over the project, because the entire project is in the regulatory buffer zone associated with the bordering vegetated wetlands. Part of the work is basically a single-family dwelling to be constructed on the property with a driveway, water and sewer. The sewer line is shown in green. The water is shown in blue. It says PW, meaning proposed water service. It has a driveway, 18-foot wide driveway, and a portion, if you will, Mr. Brewer had actually filed for a buildability determination with the building department, and was issued a buildability determination in April. But what that determination is that a requirement for the improvement of the road so that the improved width of 24 feet continues past the existing house number, I believe number, Kyle, if you don't mind zooming in just one more, that might help me with my.
I'm at the extent of my Zoom capabilities.
Oh,
here,
okay.
unfortunately.
Not a problem. But anyway, I believe it's house number 15. I'm not sure. Can you tell what that number is right next to us?
They'll say 15.
Yeah.
This one is 15 here.
Okay. All right. So the existing improved roadway terminates in front of number 15. So part of the requirement by the building department, obviously, is that we provide an improved width so that access can be provided to the lot. So that is the extent of the work that we have. Much of the work, other than the cleanup work that was mandated by the cease and desist order, all proposed activities are to be terminated at the prior to the 25-foot no disturb line. Along with the proposed work is the erosion control barrier around the entire perimeter of the proposed work. It's shown as ECB, basically which delineates erosion control barrier. And then what you see as those little black squares, it says CM. Those are proposed conservation markers that will define the permanent limit of work, and that no work should be allowed in perpetuity beyond that location. And with that, Madam Chair, and members of the commission, I conclude my presentation. I believe we can try to answer any questions the commission may have. And I don't know if Mr. Brewer, either Brandon or Richard is present to chime in if they wish to.
Yes, this is Brendan. I'm here. I think you pretty much nailed it. That cease and desist order, we stopped work and we put the conservation limit of work signs along the property line as Kyle had requested in the commission. And that's all. There's been no more work since then.
Now, this will have to go to the planning board, does it, for the road review?
Yeah, I'll kind of dive into that
Okay,
when we're ready. Yeah, in a minute.
okay. Thank you. If you'd like to go dive, Kyle, please do.
Yeah, just to kind of reiterate. Yeah, we did issue an enforcement order for unpermitted work and kind of site clearing in this area. And just to echo what's already been stated, the brewers have satisfactorily addressed the concerns of that enforcement order. So at this point, we're moving forward with proposed development. The hang up here for the commission, and I'm going to ask probably Azu to kind of split this site plan up. The proposed work is both the single family home development and the build out of Clarendon Street. This is going to have to be a phased build out. The lot at 0 Clarendon Street is only considered to be a buildable lot if Clarendon Road is built out and there's frontage on an established roadway. So the roadway is kind of a prerequisite that the roadway exists before the lot is considered a buildable lot. I've kind of spoken to Azu about this a little bit about how we're going to move forward with the permitting process on the city side, because as Chair Voris mentioned, the planning board will have to be involved with the acceptance of whatever plan for Clarendon Street road build out is ultimately proposed. So the planning board will have to review that portion of the project at least. So what I've spoken to Azu about is, and I've got some ongoing. I've read the letter that the previous building commissioner Jim Pluff issued about the buildability of the Zero Clarendon Street. And I've just got some remaining concerns about the zoning. I'm not exactly sure if this meets that, and I kind of posed that question to the acting building commissioner. And what we all kind of Azu, based on kind of discussions with myself, the engineer, and the building commissioner, is given the fact that this will have to go out for review for the stormwater piece, at least for the road. Before we send this out for review, I've asked that Azu apply and get this plan before the planning board. And the beginning step of that is that internal tech review with the city, where the building department who handles zoning, the DPW that handles all the roadways and stuff in the city can weigh in on what they want to see on this roadway build out, so we can make sure we incorporate all those comments on the plan set that's ultimately approved by the commission. Now, all that said, Azu, I think it would be best. I understand that we're doing this under one notice of intent. Ultimately, if the commission were to issue an order of conditions approving all of this work, it almost certainly has to be a phased project. The roadway build out, as far as my understanding goes, is a prerequisite for the home construction. So we need to confirm that the road is built out to the required specifications of the city before construction on the home begins. Does that seem right to you?
Yeah, I have spoken with the DPW. Yes, but if you know that the commission, Kyle and the commission, you've reviewed numerous applications, even subdivisions, where some of the lots, or if you are doing a residential apartment complex, the road work is all part of that. So we have no problem filing as a single notice of intent, but phased. In other words, I agree that the road be established and that it be deemed established by the DPW and the planning board, and then the work on the lot. But I do think that because that access, for all intents and purposes, is for access to that lot. That is the rationale behind making that a single notice of intent, because that is the real purpose of extending the improvement. But I would agree with Kyle that the planning board and through the tech review will need to review and approve the road work.
Okay, that was just more from my understanding as we move forward through this. I guess just one final comment on that, Azu. We have revised our filing requirements for notices of intent for subdivisions, and we do now require that the roadways and utilities and stormwater features all be filed under one notice of intent for the giant subdivision, and each individual lot file an additional notice of intent if it's relevant. I understand the reasoning for doing this in one notice of intent, and I think for this it's fine because there are no other lots that are being proposed as part of this build out. But I do think that it's important when we get there to potentially split this into a couple different plan sets. A phase one plan set that's just the roadway build out, a phase two plan set for the home construction, all under the same notice of intent. But we'll manage that as we move down the line here. Ultimately, my recommendation is, because we're doing this roadway build out, we do that is not exempt from stormwater review. The roadway is. The single family home development would be exempt from our review from stormwater normally, but because it's all part of this one notice of intent, we at least need to send the roadway out for review, that portion of the project. And I guess Azu looks like he might want to say something here. I'll let you chime in a second, Azu. One final comment. I have received concerns from butters about this development and the impacts of the stormwater and flooding on the neighboring properties. So the commission should just be aware of that. I've not received any letters, but if I do, I'll add those to the file for your review down the line.
Very well. I think, Madam Chair, members of the commission, I think with that detailed and concise explanation, maybe I really will find a way to steal Kyle from your side and bring him on our side. And bring him on our side. But really, I appreciate that, though. I will say this. Because it's a single family, a small lot, we actually are being very proactive. If you look in the back of the proposed dwelling, we are actually recharging based on the 100-year storm event, recharging the entire roof drain into the ground. Okay, and I agree, keeping it as a single notice of intent, but doing a phase 1 and phase 2 as the process evolves. I have no problem with that. But I will say that because the primary function of this road improvement is for access to this lot, and whereas the DPW and the planning board will be looking at the roadway, I think it'll be an undue burden after the planning board reviews it and the DPW reviews it, and the DPW actually does have engineers, city engineer that reviews stormwater for the city. I think it will be, because there will be a payment by the applicant to the planning board for their review. So I would think that it will not be, it will be an undue burden on the applicant to yet pay for another review, a peer review after it goes through the planning board and the DPW process. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not doing the work for pro bono, and I got my reputation of more than 45 years doing engineering and surveying in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts on the line.
Also, I understand exactly what you're saying. I do think that we're getting short on time, though.
Very good. I'm done. My wife who's standing here telling me to zip it. So
So we can sort out all the
Okay.
specifics of the peer review after that tech review meeting, Azu. I will say I am a member of the Brockton Stormwater Authority. Currently,
Okay.
the city engineer is not associated with the stormwater review on behalf of the city at all. The Stormwater Authority is sending these whatever permits that they're getting to a third-party review, just like the commission is. And I have spoken with the mayor and the commissioner of DPW about how the city handles stormwater review in cases like this, where the stormwater permit's required, but Conservation Commission is also involved, and potentially Planning Board. And if the Conservation Commission reviews any submission to them, to the state standards and to the local Brockton stormwater standards, the Stormwater Authority will honor that review. So I understand that concern. That is certainly on our radar. And as far as the city's concerned, the Conservation Commission stormwater review will stand in for any other bodies within the city that would have to do their own stormwater review.
No problem. As long as it doesn't have to break my client's bank, that would
Right.
be good.
Yep.
It's very kind of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kyle, your suggestion was to refer the project out, but only after the tech review?
Yeah, I want to be able to speak to the other departments about this project in particular and figure out what they need for me to include in that review process. Yep. So I'd like the commission to vote to send this out for peer review after the applicant goes through at least that first round of tech review.
So do you think it would be appropriate then just to continue till the next meeting in December?
Well, I mean, you can go ahead and make that vote now, and we can just, I'll handle that on the administrative side behind the scenes, and I'll wait for, because I sit in on tech reviews too, so I'll know when this goes
Okay.
before that, for that process.
Commissioners, questions, comments, desires?
Madam Chair, Kyle, I have a question. I feel like this, and correct me if I'm wrong. So the Clarendon extension, the part of that street has not even been touched yet, correct?
Is that gravel now? I don't know.
So
It's on an unimproved road. Yes, sir.
right. So my question is too, with the city, do they have enough frontage to build this house currently?
So that's part of that's part of what we're going to work out in the tech review process, Justin. So by default, without the roadway build out concern, if you look up at this portion of the plan, we have the specs for this lot is zoned R1C. Over here we have the minimum area, minimum frontage setback requirements for all residential development in R1C. So to build by right within this zone, you have to meet these standards here. This is the existing on this lot specifically, and you'll note that the minimum area is less than the minimum required to build by right. The frontage is less than what's required to build by right. So the specifics of this lot aside, normally this type of development would have to go and get a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals. However, the letter that Azu mentioned earlier that was issued by the previous building commissioner, Jim Pluff, stated that in order for this lot to be buildable, it needs to have the build out of Clarendon Street, which they are proposing. And then it cites a specific exemption within the zoning ordinance that may make it so this lot does not need to meet these minimum requirements. And that's the clarification that I'd like to get from the building department and the acting building commissioner at that tech review. So all that's kind of tied in with that discussion that we're going to have at that tech review meeting.
Understood. There's 10 pounds of weight here and a 5-pound bag. I get you.
Yeah, there's a lot happening here.
A lot happening.
Yeah. Okay. Ruby, any questions? Sharifa?
No questions.
No
I think, like
questions.
Kyle said, we make the motions and go to the next phase of things for this.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion then to refer the project out for peer review once it has made it through all those hurdles, through the tech review hurdles. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Madam Chair.
Would someone make that motion, please?
I make a motion to continue this meeting hearing to once the tech review has been reviewed. And is that the next meeting, Kyle, or?
So we want to vote to send it out for peer review, and then
For, and vote, yeah, and send to peer review. Correct.
Yep. But yeah,
Right.
we'll continue to the December meeting, the December 17th meeting.
So we'll do the peer review. We'll do the peer review here and vote on that, and then we can do the continue vote after
Okay.
that.
So
Okay.
yep, vote to send out. Make a motion to vote to send out to peer review.
Okay.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Boris, aye.
Leon, aye.
Okay, that motion passes. I was just wondering too, is there any requirement at this point to say the phase 1, phase 2, or is that later down the line? As far as
we can, I can work with Azu. I think that, it makes sense to me to make that revision now before we send it out for peer review, but I can work with Azu on that. It's really up to the applicant. It's just going to save them time down the line if they do that now rather than later. But
okay, so that we don't have to specify that. Okay.
no.
So then the continuation, the continuance vote is necessary, right? If someone would make a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue 0 Clarendon Street to next commission meeting in December.
Okay.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded for the continuance. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Boris, aye.
Leon, aye.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank you. Good luck, Azu, with the tech review.
Well, believe me, I need every bit of it. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Have a
Take
good
care.
night.
Thank
You
you to
too.
the commission. Thank you.
Okay. Have a nice Thanksgiving too.
Yes, yes. Oh, by the way, we do have a request for certificate of compliance, Kyle.
Yeah, it's a little bit farther down. I think we've got two
Okay.
before that comes back.
Okay. I'll see you again in a bit.
In a couple of
Thank
minutes.
you.
We'll
Thank
wait a
you.
couple of minutes.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, that brings us to another, let me see, number 5 is the request for certificate of compliance for 20 Oak Hill Way, Eversource Brockton Gate Station maintenance. Modernization.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone's here to discuss this route. I see someone here now. Let me promote Elizabeth Martin.
Hi, sorry. I know you had originally spoken with Paulina, but I am taking her place tonight.
Okay,
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much. So, do you just want me to dive right in?
sure, please do.
Okay, so this is the Brockton Regulator Station Modernization Project that was completed by Eversource Energy. The project consisted of removing 680 square feet of existing pavement, installing chain link fencing around a generator and communications building, placing a direct bury electrical conduit and fuel gas line below ground, and then adding gravel within that fence around the generator. This was completed all within the paved surface of the existing regulator station. And I'll share my screen. I have some photos I can show you as well.
Thank you.
Just please let me know if you can see this.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So here's just some sides of the station. All work again was conducted within this existing fence line, and erosion controls were used along the fence line to make sure nothing migrated beyond into this wetland. This is just north of the wetland. As you can see, gravel and everything remained inside the fence line. Another view of the fence line with the wetland to the left. And this is the majority of the work which took place. The generator, the pavement was removed and gravel was placed. And then the fence around that generator was placed within the existing fence. And then here is the location where the underground conduits were installed, and all of the excavated areas have been repaved. And then here were the plans, just to show you. Here's our wetland line, and our 100-foot buffer zone is in purple with the 50-foot and 25-foot. Here's our fence line, and then we had, of course, their erosion controls right here. And then all the work was in this area adjacent to the wetland. And so we are seeking just a certificate of compliance for our NOI.
Okay. Kyle?
Yeah, great. Thank you. That was a great summary. And thank you for sharing the photos and that site plan there. Normally, as part of a certificate of compliance request, the commission does require an as-built. The applicant has requested that the commission waive that requirement due to national security concerns. Anything that the commission receives is part of the public record. And, we just don't necessarily need all of our, sensitive energy infrastructure plans out there for anyone to grab. So all that said, I did visit this site with Eversource and their environmental consultant, and reviewed the as-built plans in hand at the site. And I think that the work has been done in substantial compliance with the order of conditions. And my recommendation is that the commission allow that requirement to be waived, and then move forward with the issuance of a complete certificate of compliance. There is one, the order of conditions has one condition to remain in effect into perpetuity, which basically just says that no herbicides or pesticides are to be used within the project area. So that would be an additional condition that we leave in on that certificate of compliance.
Absolutely, and that is completely fine. Eversource is comfortable with that.
Okay. Great. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
None here.
No
Madam
questions
Chair.
for me.
Okay, then I think we could entertain a vote then, right? To issue a certificate of compliance?
Yes,
Would someone
Madam
like to
Chair.
make a motion?
I make the motion to issue the complete certificate of compliance with the following conditions with the ongoing condition about the no herbicides, pesticides area on the site.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to issue the certificate of compliance. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, I.
Nap aye.
Talbot, I.
Russ, aye.
Leon, I.
Okay, that motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you
Motion-
so much, Madam
quick one.
Chairman and Commission members. Have a great evening.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Have a nice Thanksgiving. Okay. Next on the agenda would be an RDA for 63 Bartlett Street. That's a request for determination of applicability.
Yes, that's correct, Madam Chair. I don't know that there's anyone here to speak to this, so I can present on the behalf of the applicant. We've got a couple of these. We've got a couple of these filings that are before the commission at this meeting for in-kind porch replacement. These are filings that came to my attention because they are applying for a building permit. And I'm kind of involved in that permitting process on the building side. I use the same software, and I kind of review some of these things occasionally as they come like before me. They get filtered out. Both of these are in-kind porch replacements. We're going to look at them individually, obviously, but they're kind of similar. So as we talk about this one a little bit maybe more in depth, just keep it in the back of your mind that we're going to be talking about a very, very similar thing, a couple legend items down. So the first one here is 63 Bartlett Street. I advise them to file a notice, or sorry, an RDA for this. The intent here is just to have them get an active determination from the commission before they begin this work. Any work that's done within a resource area subject to jurisdiction by the Conservation Commission does require either an active order of conditions or a determination from the commission, or it's in violation of the Wetlands Protection Act. So the work that's being proposed here, and I'll go into the details of what that is in a moment, in general, I don't think is going to have an impact on any of these resource areas, but they do need that determination. So I've advised them to apply for an RDA with the commission, but generally we require like a site plan and a little bit, some sort of map and things like that. But for a filing like this, I'm trying to keep that burden on the applicant low. And something that they can do themselves rather than having to pay someone to put something together for them, because this is just an additional cost that is potentially burdensome on some of these projects. A lot of these patios, porches are required to be replaced for insurance reasons, safety reasons. So I'm trying to kind of walk that line, get the applicant what they need, which is the determination from the commission, but also allow the commission to get all the relevant information they need to make an accurate determination. So that's kind of where we are with things here. Let me pull up the just a map for you of 63 Bartlett Street so we can kind of look at an aerial. Give me one moment, I'll pull that up if my internet works. All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So this is the what we're looking at is the assessor's map overlaid just over an aerial photo of downtown Brockton. This is Bartlett Street that flows that goes left and right, east west through here. The parcel in question is this parcel here, 63 Bartlett Street. Resource areas that are relevant to the commission are this turquoise area, which is bordering land subject to flooding. This is FEMA flood zone AE. And then also this is a brook that runs north-south through here. And the corner of the building where the work will be done is approximately 80 feet from the bank of this waterway here. It is channelized through here, so there's no associated BVW or anything like that. It's contained within concrete bounds. So we're really just looking at buffer zone impacts and impacts to the bordering land subject to flooding on this project. The proposed work is replacing the porch in kind. There's a porch on the front corner of the building here, and then another one in the back rear corner of the building here. They will be replacing both of these during the course of the proposed work. And again, they're replacing it in kind. There's no expansion of the size, and they're not doing any work on the foundation. There's no excavation proposed here at all. Really, there's very minimal impact or negligible impact to the bordering land subject to flooding as far as its flood storage capacity, which is really what the commission should be concerned with here. So ultimately, I've got some photos that I required the applicant to submit along with their filing. I've been out to the site and taken some photos. There are no erosion controls proposed as part of this filing. There is no excavation or any work on the ground that's proposed at all. It's all work that's from the existing foundation up. So given all of that, I think that the commission could choose to issue a determination allowing this work to continue. I would recommend if the commission, there are two determinations that I think that I would recommend to the commission. One being a -2 determination, stating that the work in the RDA is within an area subject to jurisdiction, which is the bordering land subject to flooding, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter that area. So there's going to be no impact on that BLSF. Secondly, I am recommending that the commission also issue a -3 determination, which states that the area is within a buffer zone, but it also allows it's in buffer zone to the brook here, but it also allows the commission to issue some stipulations, and I think that part of this, it may be worthwhile to require that the applicant come back to the commission after everything's done and submit photos of the final product. That way we have a record of what work was done. And if at that point it becomes apparent that more work than what was originally approved is completed, then we can go down whatever route that requires. But that way there's a little bit of accountability on the applicant, but the goal here is to also not, hold up any of this, development or redevelopment in this case. I've got some photos I can share with you of the actual patio and the site here. So these are photos that I took. So what they're looking at doing is replacing these 3 porches, but again, not messing with the foundation at all here. And then this is kind of a wide shot. Again, these are the 3 porch patios on Bartlett Street. There's a whole residential home between 63 Bartlett Street and the waterway, which is behind this fence over here in the left corner. I don't really anticipate there being any danger of runoff, again, because there's no disturbance of the ground at all here. And then finally, this is the patio in the back of the building that is also being proposed to be replaced in kind. No work on the foundation here as well.
Does the -3 determination, is that something that you might think that we should possibly do routinely in order to
Potentially,
capture
I think it's relevant here. Let me pull up I've got the determination here pulled up. Can you see the Word document now?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the determination form. I'm going to scroll up and we'll just read what a -3 determination states. The work described in this request is within the buffer zone as defined in the regulations, but will not alter an area subject to jurisdiction under the Act. Therefore, said work does not require the filing of notice of intent subject to the following conditions, if any. So to issue a -3, the work has to fall within a buffer zone. Not all jurisdictional resource areas have a buffer zone associated with them. This is applicable in this case. In the one that we'll look at 69 Chester Avenue, it's not within the buffer zone, but it is within a resource area. It's kind of a fine line. I don't know that anyone's going to call us out if we issue a -3 determination, even though there's no work within buffer zone. So technically it's not applicable all the time.
But it does give you that chance of attaching a condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Any other questions from the commission about the filing?
I was just going to ask that question.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Is there anyone here for the public at all?
An RDA is not a public hearing, but we can certainly entertain public comment. I do not see any hands raised, Madam Chair.
Okay. I do believe for an RDA, though, that we do have to vote to close.
It's not a public hearing, so there's no vote to close, but we are voting on a determination if the commission feels comfortable issuing a determination.
Okay.
So I make a motion to recommend a negative, I'm sorry, make a motion for a -2 determination for 63 Bartlett Street.
There was also discussion about a -3 requiring photos.
Oh, so I thought we was doing
You
separate,
want,
so
you want to do
together?
that as separate votes?
No, I think one vote with all of
Okay.
the commission's findings
Okay.
is fine.
So a -2 determination and also a -3 determination.
With a request for photos of the finished product?
Yes.
With the request for the photos of the finished
Seconded.
project, excuse me. Sorry, Ruby.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to issue -2 determination and a -3 determination with photos. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, I.
Oops, map I.
Mhm.
Talbot, I.
Boris, aye.
Leon, I.
That motion passes. And that's done.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Now, let's see, the next one, number 7, is 360 Pearl Street. I believe that's Azu, right? Comes back.
That is correct, Madam Chair. The applicant is also here. I'm going to go ahead and promote James Victorine. You're not required to talk, James, if you don't want to, but you're able to.
So what's James' last name?
Victorine, he is the applicant
Victorine.
on the notice of intent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening again. Long time no see.
Nice to see you again.
Kai, would you mind sharing the as-built? So again, Madam Chair, members of the commission, basically, this site was approved by the commission a couple years ago. And one of the, several of the requirements was the buffer zone planting, which is shown to the east side of the property. Along the east side would be the side that is almost parallel to Pearl Street, but abuts Route 24. So that planting was done. The planting along the westerly portion of the property by the abutting land number 352 was all planted. The drainage system that was approved, installed. As you may recall, we had filed for certificate of compliance. The commission issued a partial certificate of compliance. And the reason the full certificate of compliance was not issued was that a number of years for the monitoring of the site work and the restoration work had not been met. The number of reporting cycles. Well, since then, so we withdrew the application just so that we were not wasting the commission's time. And so now that the work is fully done, The planting is done. The buffer zones are restored. All the fill that was all unauthorized fill that was placed on the property has been since removed. The drainage installed, the required fence installed with the placards. The placards denoting there's no walk allowed beyond this point. So I believe Mr. Victorine has satisfied the requirements. And Mr. Ken Thompson, who was the designated environmental monitor, provided all the documentary evidence demonstrating compliance with the planting and the fill removal. So with that, I'd ask that the commission issue the final certificate of compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. Kyle?
Sure. Yeah, that was a great summary. Thank you, Azu. Just to kind of piggyback on that, the applicant did file for a complete certificate of compliance earlier this year in around April, and at that point, I went through and reviewed everything very in depth and outlined 7 or 8 remaining conditions that needed to be met that hadn't been met in April, and at that point, either the applicant withdrew the request or it was denied. I don't really remember the details, but in any case, there's kind of a line item of exactly what the applicant needed to do. In this round of review, I have confirmed that the applicant did meet all of those requirements. The one remaining condition that hasn't been fully met, and I don't think this is a problem, is that the erosion controls are still in place. At this point, they've been in there for several years and they've begun to degrade. And I don't think that there's really going to be any need to. I mean, the things are growing in and around the erosion controls at this point, so I think leaving them in place is fine. That would be the only other comment. I'm happy with the fences that have been installed. I think that they've done a great job with the way that this site looks. I can share some photos with the commission if you all would like to see those as well.
Sure.
Okay. This is the marker that's on the interior. This is the yard, the usable living area side of the fence that has this placard on it. City of Brockton limited work did not remove. And it's on this vinyl fence that basically encapsulates the entire backyard. And this is all within the area that was designated as the limit of work. So this is the yard space that the commission's approved.
Is there one single placard on that entire fence?
Oh no, there's one here. There every several of these,
Okay.
they're kind of all the way through here. You can't really see them on this shot, but they
Okay.
are all along the interior portion of that fence. So this is the area that was within the limit of work. This is the area that the commission allowed the house and the disturbance to be within. So I think it looks really good. There is actually no access from the drive or the home to any of the restoration areas. It's completely blocked off. So like there is no door or gate in this fence that allows access from the living usable portion of the lot to the restoration area. So we didn't ask that, but I think that's just a bonus. We don't have to worry about the people that are living there. This is a very, very large lot that's beyond the fence and the buildable area. So and there's just not access to that unless you go in through a different lot. So yeah, I've got really no concerns with this. And I think the commission could issue that final certificate of compliance, assuming they don't want the applicant to remove the existing erosion controls that are again degraded. It's not really practicable to remove them at this point. It would be just like slitting the erosion control and trying to pull up whatever material is still there. But it's so degraded now that I don't know that that's even worth time doing.
Do you have any idea what the age span of one of those fences is?
I don't. Azu, do you have any idea?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What's the average age span, the lifespan of one of those fences? Do you know?
Oh, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
My only concern is if something happened and it really degraded and it got taken down, then there would be no evidence of a limit.
no, you also have the conservation markers along that.
Oh, okay.
And
The
those
small-
were
the low-
those are surveyed and shown on the point. Yes.
Okay.
But, that would have been my concern if this was wood. So they actually went to a more expensive material that's a lot more durable.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those old markers are still there, and then also like having the markers in place is a condition that is in the order of conditions that doesn't expire with the issuance of that certificate
Right.
of compliance. So if 30 years down the line someone removes this fence and the commission becomes aware of that, they can come back in and require that markers of some sort be reestablished.
Mhm. Okay. Commissioners, any questions? Does everyone feel comfortable with just leaving the, what do you call the things as is, the erosion controls? Just to continue
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
I'm
natural
okay with that.
cycle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Good.
Are we, just a quick question with the special conditions, does that still apply or no, at the bottom? It was like F1 or herbicides, pesticides and.
Yeah, yep. Yes,
Or
thank you,
not removing.
Commissioner Mapp. Those two conditions, those F1 and F2, those are those are special conditions that are ongoing even after the issuance of the certificate of compliance. So that would just be, we can read that out here, but that's just kind of something that I fill in on that certificate of compliance form.
Okay.
And just for the record, that says that no herbicides or pesticides are to be used on the site. And then also the permanent markers of some sort need to be established along the final limit of work, which has been done here.
Okay. Thank you. Then I believe we would entertain a motion to grant a complete certificate. Someone like to make that
Madam
motion?
Chair.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion for 360 Pearl Street to issue a certificate of compliance. And since I've been on the commission, my first one.
Congratulations.
Motion seconded.
The motion's been made and seconded to issue a complete certificate of compliance for 360 Pearl Street with the stated special conditions. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Boris, aye.
Leon, I.
And that motion passes.
Thank you
Mr.
very much, and have a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much.
Okay. If you have leftovers, give me a call. I'm not embarrassed. I'll come over.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, the next is item number 8. It's another RDA, request for a determination of applicability. This one is at 24 Prescott Street. EBT, Environmental Consultants. We're on the. Is that right?
Yeah, I got an email from the consultant earlier today saying that he was going to call in. I see only one phone number here, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say maybe that's him. I'm gonna promote
That telephone number?
that telephone number. I don't know how I can do that. Allow to talk. All right. I have but I did speak to Glenn earlier today, and he asked that I share the plan for him because he was going to be calling in. So I've got the plan pulled up
Thank
here.
you.
We can
Is
review.
that Glenn?
Yes, it is.
Perfect.
Oh, good. That worked well.
Thank you. Okay. At your convenience, Madam Chairman.
Yes.
And
We have-
thank you, Kyle Holden.
The plan is
I
pulled
can
up.
discuss the project, or I will, or I'll leave it to Kyle. I'm here to discuss the project, the RDA, the proposed deck. It does show up on the plan. I did ask that it be put on the screen. Mr. Holden and I did walk the site on 10/15/25. Did look at the mass mapper, and there's an isolated wetland to our northwest west, that it did turn out, as I showed Mr. Holden, that it was isolated. We walked around the circumference. It was flagged with 20A flags. And then there is an intermittent stream to the south east, and that doesn't show up on any mapping, but it is relevant. It is there. Our proposed work, the replacement of a deck, is 79 feet as measured when Mr. Holden was there to wetland flag 5B. The A series is around the isolated non-jurisdictional wetland. And again, we're 79 feet from that wetland. It's a generally level backyard. My client is looking to place and it's showing up on the plan, and showing a deck on 5 sonotubes to the rear of the house. It's a replacement deck with a slight expansion. There is, for the lumber to get back there, there is a gate on Jordan Street, which is to our southwest, and we'll over the lawn, through the gate, open the gate, back up, bring the lumber in. Any material to be thrown away will be put in that dumpster. There is an erosion control barrier, straw wattles staked in the flat yard, and the only work on excavation would be the 5 sonotubes to dig those. And there will be there was an existing concrete pad in the back. The gentleman that owns the property didn't know that he was within 100 foot of a wetland, but he did break it up and didn't remove it. So in our process, we would be removing the cracked up concrete, repouring a pad, and then putting the deck on. And the deck is described under project descriptions of the RDA, which is the 3rd page of the RDA. And presently it's a 10x7 deck. And he proposes a 10x31, the full length of the back of the house deck. And again, we did run stream stat on the stream, and we did it's a very narrow drainage area contributing with a 0.01 under stream stat. It only has a 0.03, square miles, well under the half a square mile, and 0.003 under the 99%. So again, it's intermittent. It is required as of 12/20/02 to run stream stat if you can, to prove that even though it doesn't show up as anything on USGS mapping, we're able to find its flow into another larger stream down below. And once we ran for the 3rd time, we did find this narrow drainage area tucked between 2 larger drainage areas to our, I might say to our, let me see, those drainage areas would be to our east and west.
Mhm.
So again, it's a lawn area with a deck. Single-family house, no stormwater, we would say here. It's mostly a deck now. Again, there is an expansion of 20 feet, but it's the same width and it just extends away. And again, 79 feet away from the BVW that's associated with the intermittent stream. That is off-site, that intermittent stream.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
thank you.
Yep. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank
Kyle?
you.
Kyle, I don't hear you. You're muted, I think.
Okay, thank you. No, I was just impressed, Glenn. He didn't even have the map in front of him, so well done. So yeah, we've got the map here. We were kind of following along with you, Glenn. Thank you for that summary. And I think that really hits everything here. Again, just to reiterate, this wetland up to the north top side of the page is an isolated wetland, so it's non-jurisdictional. All the proposed work here for this site is buffer zone only. I think that the commission could find an issue determination allowing the work. Initially, this plan set that I've got pulled up here that includes the site access off Jordan Street and the erosion controls here, which show up in blue around the limit of work here. That was a revision that I asked Glenn to provide, and you may have sent this to me before, Glenn, but today was the first time that I saw this. So my report to the commission does not include that the applicant is proposing these erosion controls. So my initial recommendation reflected that the commission should be requiring these erosion controls, but they do appear on the map. So all that said, I think the commission can move forward, but my recommendations are going to be slightly different because the applicant is now proposing these erosion controls. So In general, the conversion, this is, oh, sorry, Glenn, go ahead.
No, I didn't say anything. Thank you again. I'm listening.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Anyway, so in the act, work with that's proposed solely within the buffer zone. Some activities are considered minor exempt activities. One of those minor exempt activities is the conversion of lawn into an accessory structure like a deck, shed, assuming that it's at least 50 feet from the resource area in question, and the proper erosion controls are used when that is being constructed. So all that said, this isn't exactly conversion of existing lawn. This is kind of a conversion of a concrete pad that's been broken up, but I think the spirit is the same. We're over 50 feet from any of the relevant resource areas. Erosion controls are being proposed. So I think that the commission could issue a -5 determination saying, and this is not my report, but I'm going to read you what a -5 determination states. It says that the area described in the request is subject to jurisdiction under the act, so it's in the buffer zone. But since work described therein meets the requirements of the following exemption as specified in the act and the regulations, no notice of intent is required. So in the act, it states that those minor exempt activities, again, if it's over 50 feet from that resource area and erosion controls are used, the conversion of lawn to a shed patio is an exempt activity. So I think we could cite that language and allow this work to move forward without a notice of intent. That's a -5 determination. And then in addition to that, I would also recommend that the commission issue a positive 2B determination, stating that we're not certifying the delineations that have been done here. On this plan that we're looking at, we don't have the actual flags are on here. Now, as Glenn mentioned, I did walk the site with him. I do agree with the measurements that are on here, but I don't think the commission should be approving the graphics that are on this map that we're looking at today. So that would just be those two, a -5 allowing the work to continue and a positive 2B determination stating that we're not confirming the wetland resources that are marked on here, which include the isolated vegetated wetland and the bordering vegetated wetland associated with the intermittent stream.
Thank you.
Not to parse hairs, but what exactly is the difference between a -3 and a -5? Because you originally had a -3.
The -3 allows us to add conditions
Condition.
like the
Okay.
requirement that
Yes.
erosion controls be used to meet that exemption status, that minor exempt status. It has to meet a couple things. So one, it has to be one of those described activities. Two, it has to be, in this case, outside of that 50-foot buffer zone, not within 50 feet of that resource area. And in this case, C or 3, I don't know what I would think I was using numbers 3, erosion controls need to be proposed and used.
Okay.
The original plan set that I was reviewing and I wrote my report based upon didn't include those erosion controls. So the -3 allows us to still approve the work, but require the erosion controls.
Okay. Okay. But since they're there now, you can switch it out to a 5.
Yeah, because we have
makes
this
sense.
revised plan set here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions at all?
No
None
questions.
here,
from-
Madam Chair.
Yeah, none for me.
Okay. So I would entertain a vote then to, a motion rather, to issue a -5 determination and a positive 2B.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
I make a motion to issue a -5 determination and a positive 2B determination for 24 Prescott Street.
Okay.
Motion seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Forrest, aye.
Leon, I.
And motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. And as always, and as you had said, Madam Chair, good Thanksgiving.
Okay, thank
And
you
to
so
the
much.
rest. Thank you again. Have a good day.
Okay. You too.
Bye. Bye.
The next item on the agenda then is another RDA. for 69 Chester?
Yes, Madam Chair, that is correct. Again, I don't know that the applicant is in attendance tonight, and I can present on their behalf. Okay, there's a hand. I promoted Zoom user, Madam Chair.
You promoted who is?
There's no information on the sign-in. It just says Zoom user.
Oh,
Oh, they declined. I'll promote them to panelist again.
it was Violanta Pyrus.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Pyrus, hi, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you? Thank you for entertaining me.
No, thank you for attending.
You're welcome.
Okay, would you like to tell us what it is that you'll be doing?
I'm intending to replace an existing porch, a three-decker, at 69 Chester Ave.
Mhm.
I believe it's not interfering with any of the foundation. I know that there's within the flood zone that there's a concern, but I am not touching the base foundation, the first ground porch. I'm only building from the top up to replace the existing woods that are rotting away.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, thank you for that summary, and that's really it. It's as simple as that. This is the other RDA that I had mentioned earlier when we were looking at 63 Bartlett Street. It's very, very similar. So I'm just going to share some photos and the map real quick, just so we can get an idea of what we're looking at. But yeah, ultimately, it's the same recommendation from me. So I guess I'll begin by sharing my screen and looking at the mass mapper to show you where the floodplain is and where the lot lies. So we're looking now at 69 Chester Avenue, which is this lot here. And the porch that's in question is facing the street, which is Chester Avenue here. So it's on the right-hand side of the building as we look at it here. And you can see it is within the floodplain, and that's why this got kind of flagged and required this additional review. So again, the goal here is I've got some photos. Can you see these photos here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So this is 69 Chester Avenue, and the work that's being proposed here is the replacement of not this base level. This is recently veneered, and they're not messing with anything here. We're really just looking at replacing these upper levels here, and obviously there's no impact to to the floodplain here. But because it is within the floodplain, the commission does need to have eyes on this and actively issue that determination. So they're technically not in violation of the act. So this is kind of a crossing the T's and dotting the I's situation. So ultimately, my recommendation for this, again, to the commission is that we issue a, let's see, let me look at my notes. A -2 determination stating that the work proposed is within a jurisdictional area, which would be the bordering land subject to flooding, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter that area. Therefore, this work does not require the filing of notice of intent. Additionally, I think that similarly to Bartlett Street, we should ask that the applicant submit photos of the work that's completed. So we have a before and after, and we can just like make sure that the work that was described in the application and tonight the meeting was the work that was done. And so we could do that with a -3 determination that allows us to add those stipulations, even though this isn't in buffer zone, but we're not going to tell anybody.
Commissioners, any questions?
No questions. This is very cut and dry, so no question.
Ms. Pyrus, are you going to keep that really pretty ironwork?
I wanted to, but well, my sister, we do want to, but the only thing is, I don't think it's within the regulation because it's too low.
Oh,
Back in the 50s, it was okay.
oh, for the higher
Yeah,
levels. Oh, yeah.
it's too low. That was my main concern too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
It's true. It's pretty though.
I
Thank you.
love the ironwork.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so commissioners, any questions at all? Kyle, on the front of your, under administration, it does say that an RDA requires time for public comment and a vote to close. Does
Okay.
it under the yeah.
I don't know. It's been a
Yeah.
long day.
Okay, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this?
I don't see any hands raised, Madam Chair. I'll confirm that for our next meeting. I apologize if I.
No, it's no problem. It's no problem. I had actually looked it up earlier too, and I thought it did say that, but so we're going, so is your recommendation that we vote on a -2 determination with photos or change it to a -3 before we actually?
Ultimately both. So a -2 and a -3 that requires the photos. I think it just covers our bases.
Okay, fine. Okay. So
And,
commissioners,
and I do agree that, yeah, RDA's public hearing, if I advised you differently earlier, I apologize. That was my.
that's okay. That's okay. There was play going on. Commissioner, if someone would make a motion, please, to issue the determinations.
Madam Chair, do we need to close the hearing?
If it is a public hearing, then yes, we should be closing, but we should take the vote before
Vote
we
first and then close, right? Yeah. Would you care to make a motion, Mr. Talbot? You want to make another one?
Absolutely. I make a motion for 69 Chestnut Avenue, okay to issue an RDA with a -2 as well as a -3 determination.
I'll second that.
Oh, okay, good. Motion's been made and seconded to issue a -2 determination as well as a -3, and that -3 with photos, correct? When the work is done.
Yep. Photos of the completed project. Yep.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Force aye,
Leon, I.
and that motion carries. Good, thank you.
Do we make the motion to close the hearing now?
Oh, yeah, now we make the motion to close the hearing. Whoever
I'd
would
like to make a motion to close the hearing on 69 Chester Ave.
Second,
Aye.
anyone? Leon seconded?
Yep.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Force aye.
Leon, I.
Thank you.
Madam
thank
Chair, before we move on, we've gone through several RDAs just for completion's sake. We probably ought to go back and ask for public comment and then close out each of these RDAs.
Yeah, we can do that.
So
We'll
the
do
first one would be the RDA for 63 Bartlett Street.
Okay. Is there anyone from, what number was that? I just want to go back.
That was
on
number 6.
6, okay. Yep. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to 63 Bartlett Street?
I don't see any hands raised, Madam Chair.
No. Then I entertain a motion, please, to close the hearing for 63 Bartlett Street.
I make a motion to close the hearing for 63 Brockton.
Second, anyone?
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Boris, aye.
Leon, I.
Okay, that motion passes. The next one was the RDA at 24 Prescott Street. Is there anyone from the public that's present that would like to speak to 24 Prescott Street?
I see no hands raised, Madam Chair.
Okay, that being the case, I would entertain a motion, please, to close that hearing.
I make a motion to close the hearing for 24 Prescott Street.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, I.
Snap eye.
Talbot, I.
Boris, aye.
Leon, I.
Okay, and that motion passes.
All right, great.
And I
All
think
caught
that
up. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And sorry, Ms. Paris, that put you
Okay.
through the Robert's Rules of Order.
That's okay.
Take care and have a lovely Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Take care.
Wonderful.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, the next one is a certificate of compliance for 125 Liberty Street.
Yes, that is correct, Madam Chair. I don't see any hands raised, so I can review this on behalf of the applicants. Give me a moment. I'll pull up the plan set. Okay.
This one goes way back, huh?
Yeah. All right. So basically, the commission has received a request for a certificate of compliance for a development at 125 Liberty Street. The order of conditions for this was issued around 2002, and so it's been 20 years since this building was constructed and all the work was done. So at this point, I reviewed the submitted as-built, compared that to the approved plan of record that accompanied that 2002 order of conditions. And then I reviewed the language of the order of conditions and made sure that all the special conditions had been met. I'll pull up the plan set in a moment, but ultimately, I think it would be beneficial for the commission and the public to look at the layout of this parcel in conjunction with the area around it. So let me pull up the mapping tool again. Here we go.
Is this still a bakery?
I believe it is. I don't know if it's still. I don't know that it was. I don't know that it's still like active. It looked pretty vacant when I was there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and just kind of show you the lot in question here. 125 Liberty Street is this parcel here. The work that was proposed was the construction of this parking lot out here, the building, and then like a loading dock back in the back. There were some utilities that run along this portion of the building as well. When I reviewed the as-built versus the approved plan set, the the building and everything that was constructed, I think meets what was approved under the 2002 order of conditions. However, since this plan was originally approved, there's been a lot of work on the adjacent parcel, which is identified as 127 Liberty Street. We actually looked at this last month at the October meeting. In short, this isolated wetland used to be jurisdictional. It used to be federally protected and fell under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. It has lost that federal protection. And so now, when we're reviewing this plan set 20 years later, the approved plan set from 2002 had a buffer zone and a resource area marked here. This isolated wetland has been impacted by the development at 127 Liberty Street that the commission has ultimately approved via the issuance of several orders of conditions. All this to say is that the plans that I was reviewing, the resource areas have shifted over the last 20 years. So there were some conditions in the special conditions of the order of conditions for 125 Liberty Street that specifically address buffer zone areas of jurisdictional resource areas that are no longer really relevant under the act. So when I was reviewing, I just kind of ignored those things. And ultimately, upon my review, I think that the construction has been done in substantial compliance. There was one outstanding condition that I noted that I didn't see having been addressed out at the site, and that would be special condition number 32. States that no road salt, sodium chloride, or other de-icing chemicals, with the exception of calcium chloride, shall be used on paved surfaces, and any arrangement of snow removal shall so stipulate that due to the importance of the site and wetland that no salt, basically no salt. And it requires that permanent signs designating a no salt area shall be displayed in prominent locations. When I was out at the site, I did not see any signage that said no salt usage, but that will be the only outstanding condition that I think the commission may choose to have addressed prior to the issuance of the complete certificate of compliance for 125 Liberty Street. All of the alterations that have happened on 127 Liberty Street should be managed and dealt with 127 Liberty Street rather than having that impact 125. 125 never actually contained any jurisdictional resource areas. It just was within the buffer zone to some of these areas. So any impact, we should just deal with that under 127 Liberty Street.
What is the distance from the rear of that building or where the rear of that loading dock to the actual wetland?
This isolated wetland here,
No, the actual, the
or
green,
the one that's all the way over
Yeah,
here
the
by the
real one.
floodplain.
Yeah.
Well, we can measure from the building or the lot line.
lot line.
About 230
Okay.
feet or so.
Well outside,
Oh yeah, significantly. Like because this is no longer jurisdictional.
Right,
There's very
right.
little that's here. You know.
So would salt even be an issue?
Well, I mean, yes. Any salt that flows in here, I think there's a catch basin underneath this portion of the property.
Oh, okay, so
But there are catch basins all along here that flow
Okay.
into a subsurface infiltration unit that's been installed in this portion of
Okay, and
127
it'll
Liberty
eventually-
Street that does outlet into the
Okay.
to the wetland.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, we have two options. We can either issue that certificate of compliance, not requiring those signs to be installed, or I can reach out to the applicant, inform them that the commission wants these signs to be installed, and we can continue this to next month and allow them time to get those signs installed, issue the certificate of compliance next month. And if they don't do it in a timely manner by December, we can just deny it and they can reply when they're ready.
Commissioners, what do you think?
I agree with Kyle. I think the sign should be installed. So
Yeah, no,
yeah, well, we can table it to December, allow them the time to do that.
Leon, Sharifa, Justin, do you agree? How do you feel about that? Is it okay?
I agree, Madam Chair.
Same.
Okay, good. Then I entertain a motion then to continue, right?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Make a motion to continue 125 Liberty Street to the December 17th meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, I.
Nap aye.
Talbot, aye.
Forrest, aye.
Leon, I.
Okay, and that motion passes. And Kyle, you'll get in touch with the applicant and let them know.
Yeah,
that that's
I'll
required.
inform them this week.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you. Good. We're getting there. Oh, look at this. Another RDA. So we have a RDA for 309 Battles Street. And that
I've
is
promoted Scott Faria, who is representing the applicant on this project. I guess I better get ready to share a screen for this, huh?
Give me one more chance, Kyle.
All right, you got it, Scott. Go for it.
Go, go, go.
Are you seeing it?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Beautiful.
All right. All right. An early Christmas miracle. All right. Good evening again, Madam Chair, Commission Member Scott Faria, Holmgren Engineering. I've got a request for determination for 309 Battle Street. This is a really a beautiful piece of property. It's the Crown Linen Service facility. It's a big building, almost 100,000 square feet. It was constructed back in 2013, received site plan approval, conservation approval, and they're a laundry service. And as part of their day-to-day operations, they use a crazy amount of water. They would like to drill a well on the property, a non-potable well, not a drinking well, just to be used for their laundry. And with a facility of this size, there's only a couple of places we can put this well. And I'm going to zoom up. And we have one landscape area right over here that we would like to propose a well, this little circle right here. is where we'd like to put the well. Right now, there's a driveway that comes through. There's curbing. This is a landscaped area. Here's the building. There's a wetland, and again, this is from 2013, so it's obviously not a current flagged wetland, but this is the wetland from the approved wetlands line. This area from probably from about at the time, we really weren't worried about 25-foot buffer zones in Brockton. Nobody was really enforcing that. So there's probably about a 5 or a 10-foot vegetated buffer to the wetland, and then the rest is all lawn. Gets to the vertical granite curbing, then about a 24-foot wide driveway, more curbing in our landscaping. So we're just about 102 feet away from the well to the old wetland. We're separated by all those kind of those natural barriers that are in place right now. Normally, we'd say keep it 105 feet away and don't even worry about conservation. In this case, I just felt like it was better to come before you folks as part of the well drilling process. The wells have to be drilled down anywhere from 100 feet to 200 feet to get the required amount of water pressure. When they're drilling that well casing down, there's an amount of sludge or slurry that comes up out of the well. It would be contained right there on site, but there is that material that comes out. We don't want somebody to drive by and see what was going on and think that was going to impact the wetlands somehow. So we felt like it was best to file with you folks. We are surrounding the area where we'll be drilling the well with siltation protection, and we also have a material stockpile area that they can just move the sludge to temporarily. It's typically a one-day job. Whatever material comes out of the hole, they'll scoop it up and truck it out at the end of the day. So that's what we've got. As I said, it's just barely outside of your buffer zone, about 102 feet away from the resource area, Madam Chair.
Is that a parking lot to the left of where that corner there where the well is?
Yeah, this whole area is a parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got beautiful landscaping, really. They've got hydrangeas and rhododendrons. They've got crazy amounts of flowers and shrubs and beautiful lawn as well, all over the place. So that was part of it too, why we picked this area to avoid existing utilities. There's underground electric, there's gas, there's water, there's just all kinds of utilities. So as big a site as it is, we're really kind of limited to certain areas that we could do this.
And what is that big giant, not giant, that very large, well, I think large circle compared to the bushes? That large circle that's a dotted line? What is that for? Is that like the area that?
It's just the work area. I was just
Oh,
circling that just to kind of get you folks to
okay.
focus in on the work area.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was the area that like the water actually comes out of or whatever.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, just to pick up on that and add a couple things. So there are going to be no like new structures in the area where the well is going to be drilled. When that well is drilled, it will then be a pipe will be trenched over into the corner of the building, and that's where all the the hardware and everything will be inside the existing building. So no new structures or anything are going to be around like the actual well location. Just so we are all aware. Um, Ultimately, I agree with Scott, that we shouldn't confirm this wetland line. That's going to be part of my recommendations because it is an old line from 2013. However, given the grades at the site, the way that the lawn area has been maintained, I can't imagine that the wetland line has really shifted towards the building much in the last 10 years. So I'm comfortable, just agreeing that this is in the buffer zone. Whether the well itself is technically 102 feet or 98 feet isn't really relevant. It is within the buffer zone, or at least some of the proposed work will be within the buffer zone. They've got the erosion controls along that curbing is within the buffer. So we can kind of arm wave it and say, okay, this work is within the buffer zone. I did look into this with Mass DEP. Well regulation is not something that's under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. There's a whole separate department at the state level that manages wells and well registration and all of that sort of thing. I had concerns initially that would the well potentially impact groundwater levels? Could that have an impact on the BVW? But that would be a future impact rather than an impact that's happening now. And that's not something that the folks at Mass DEP advise that we get tangled up in. So all that said, I think that the commission can move forward and issue a couple determinations allowing this work to move forward. My recommendations would be that we issue a -3 determination stating that the work proposed is within buffer zone but will not impact the resource area. And then -3 allows us to add a couple stipulations. So my recommended stipulations to be added here would be that the drill spoils that Scott was referencing from the well excavation shall be properly disposed of outside of any jurisdictional resource areas or the associated 100-foot buffer zone. So they just need to take it somewhere else and not throw it in the wetland. And then secondly, we're not confirming the wetland line that comes on this site plan. So we can add that text to the -3, but then also for good measure, I recommend that we issue a positive 2B determination, basically stating that we are not confirming that bordering vegetated wetland series W along the bottom of the plan here.
Okay, commissioners, questions, comments?
None here, Madam Chair. I'm on board with
None,
what Kyle
none
said.
for me. Yeah, I'm on board with what Kyle suggested.
But anyone from the public present?
I see no hands raised, Madam Chair.
Okay. So we would issue first and then close, right?
Yes.
Yep. So I entertain a motion, please, to issue the positive 2B and -3. If someone could make those motions.
I make the motion to issue we said the -3 and a positive 2B for 309 Battle Street.
I'll second that.
The motion's been made and seconded to issue those determinations. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, I.
Map I.
Talbot, I.
Boris, aye.
Leon, I.
And that motion carries. Good.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. I request to close. Vote to close, please.
I make a motion to close the hearing for 309 Battle Street, RDA.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, I.
Map I.
Talbot, I.
Boris, aye.
Leon, I.
And then motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, folks. Have a happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving all.
Thank you
Good
so much. Take care. Okay. Number 12, notice of intent for some intersection improvements at Center and Plymouth.
One moment, Madam Chair.
Oh, no, it's okay. Says
I
Lisa
just,
Sherman and
so-
Lisa Simcamp.
I'm sorry.
Says, under question and answer, there's something about Lisa Sherman and Nisa. If you look under the question and
Okay.
answer.
Yeah. So these are just the representatives for CDM Smith for this notice of intent.
Yeah.
Let me. So for this, I'll promote them in a moment.
Okay.
I just want to confirm. So DEP did issue a file number today for this notice of intent for the Center Street and Plymouth Street intersection. Let me pull that up here. That was just about the definition of a limited project and whether or not different parts of this filing meet that standard. And I want to confirm that a butter notification went out. I don't know that it did. Let me look into that real quick. 'Cause
Okay.
we need to confirm that before we open the public hearing. So
We would need that to open, I'm sure,
correct.
because the butters would need to be present if they wanted to be.
I don't know. I might have just there might have been an oversight. Let me scroll through this real quick. And they may have something to say about that, Madam Chair. Let me just continue to scroll through this, but before we open the public hearing, let's kind of figure out how we're doing this. So I'm gonna go ahead and what's that?
NOI file. Are you looking at the NOI file?
No, I'm looking at to see if they submitted a certified abutters list. I don't know that I confirmed that before, and we'll need to make sure that the public was notified of this notice of intent before we open the public hearing. So I did promote Lisa Sherman for this filing.
Hello, Lisa Sherman. I think you're muted.
Okay, a butter notification is at the very bottom. Let me look this up.
Yeah, usually it's one of the last pages in the file.
It's just a long giant file. It has to load.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Thank you.
Yes, it is in the file. Nisa, do you happen to know what page? Kyle, would you please make Nisa a presenter as well?
What's the name that she's under here?
C Campen?
Oh, okay, yep.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I finally scrolled to the correct portion that has proof of mailing, so thank you.
Okay, so we do have the DEP file number and the proof of a butter notification.
Yeah, that is correct. And DEP did issue technical comments. It's a fairly long comment section. I'm just going to summarize it here for the commission. The applicant is claiming that this project qualifies to be a limited project, and that's a specific thing that qualifies as a limited project. Certain types of public utility, roadway extensions, and things like that. DEP is specifically asking the commission to make sure that the utility section of limited project applies to this project specifically. So I didn't have a chance to really dig into that too much today because they just issued this technical comments and the file number this afternoon. So as we go forward with the review of this project, that's something that we will absolutely make sure that we address with that review. But I don't have any other comments about that at this time.
Thank you. So Lisa, or whoever's presenting, please do.
Yes, so Nisa's going to pull up some slides for us, and I'm just going to give you an overall introduction to the two of us and our the overall project. And hopefully it's the green button, Nisa. There you go. Okay, I see you. We can't hear you.
Can you see the slide okay?
Yeah,
No.
it's your oh, I can see it. Can everyone else see it?
Yeah, it's in a side-by-side with the camera. Is there any way we can just make it just the presentation?
I just see like a slide, like something that you would use to make slides. Yeah, okay.
There it is.
This looks good.
Now.
Are we ready?
Can everyone see?
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Well, so good evening, commissioners. Thank you for having us this evening. My name is Lisa Sherman. I am the project manager for CDM Smith. With me tonight is Nisa Seecamp. She is our environmental scientist. And we are here on behalf of the City of Brockton Department of Public Works to provide intersection improvements at Center Street and Plymouth Street. And you can go to the next slide, please. This project is to provide safety improvements at the intersection. And the project is the design, permitting, and right-of-way costs are being paid for by the City of Brockton. And the construction will be done by Mass DOT. So it's a project that's on the Transportation Improvement Program. So the location you can see here in our map, and if you can see my cursor, the improvements are at the intersection of Center and Plymouth. Trout Brook, the resource that we have here is the Trout Brook, and there's a bridge over Trout Brook on Center Street, bridge number B25037. Trout Brook's a perennial stream and it flows parallel to Plymouth Street under the bridge. Some adjacent land uses include the residential neighborhoods, city-owned parkland to the south, some community buildings, and then the Brockton Area Transit Center is on Center Street to the east of Commercial Street. Next slide, please. So we studied a number of options to improve safety at the intersection of Center Street and Plymouth Street. Right now, it's a two-way stop-controlled intersection. It is a high crash location, and we've worked with MassDOT quite a bit to evaluate different improvement options. And the option that came out of all of our studies to make the most improvement to safety while also limiting impact to resources is to install a traffic signal at this location. So what this graphic shows here is that our limit of work for the entire project is from that western edge at Commercial Street and to right just past the bridge on Center Street, east of Plymouth Street. And then you can see some work on Plymouth Street. Now this graphic was actually prepared previously, and I believe we have shortened the limit of work on Plymouth Street, Nisa, to cut back on the work in the resources area. And Nisa's going to explain all the resources far better than I will. So with that, Nisa, if we could go to your resource page. Next slide. Oh, and she says her screen just froze. That's not great. So I'm going to share my screen. Technical difficulties. Screen 2. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And so here we have the portions of the, Nisa, if you could speak to the resource area plan. Maybe her entire computer just froze.
Sorry about that, folks. My computer froze and I was kicked off the meeting.
So Nisa, we're on the resource area plan.
Okay. Thank you for bearing with us, guys. So this plan shows our general work area and is highlighting our resource areas. All of the resource areas shown are in association with Trout Brook, which is our perennial stream. It runs through a concrete channel, and it was delineated in June of 2024. This is highlighted in green. The brook is associated with a 100-year floodplain or zone AE. The purple area represents bordering land subject to flooding, synonymous with the 100-year floodplain here. The lighter blue area is our 25-foot riverfront area, or the Brockton 25-foot no-touch zone. The darker blue area is where the 100-year floodplain overlaps with our riverfront area. And then the dotted blue line is where the 100-foot buffer zone to Trout Brook is. I didn't want to highlight it because I thought it might be too busy. So as you can see, portions of our work area overlap with these resource areas, in particular, the work on the northern extent of the intersection, which is actually on the left-hand side of the page here, and work on the eastern extent at the bridge over Trout Brook, which is actually at the top of the page. And you can go to the next slide, Lisa. So there are no impacts proposed to Trout Brook or its bank. The proposed work, the work area is limited to the existing roadway and adjacent buffer strips immediately adjacent to the road. The project consists of general roadway and intersection improvements, as Lisa described earlier. within that existing public right of way. And so that it was our understanding that that maintenance work, improving and correcting substandard intersections, roadway milling and paving, and some of the improved drainage would classify our project as a limited project under the Wetlands Protection Act for all of our roadway improvements and our bridge improvements work. The project has been designed to meet performance standards for work within that 25-foot riverfront area and a 100-foot buffer zone, and to the maximum extent possible within the 100-year floodplain, which I'll get into a little bit more in the next slide. As part of the design, we've reviewed all project alternatives and determined that there's no design that would result in less environmental impact. Next slide. So the base flood elevation at our site ranges from 92 at the center of the intersection to about 94 at the northern extent of our work area. As part of the intersection improvements, we're proposing to reduce the width of Center Street down to 1 lane in each travel direction on the west leg of the intersection. And so in order to make sure that intersection is aligned with that narrowed width, the project also proposes the slight narrowing of the sidewalks to the north of the intersection, which will shift the placement of the existing sidewalk curb. This reconfiguration will result in that 5 cubic feet of fill placement within BLSF. We understand that this fill will trigger the need for compensatory flood storage. However, we have evaluated all potential locations for where we could put this compensatory flood storage, but we do have significant site restrictions in this area. Private property exists on 3 sides of the intersection, which prevents us from putting the compensatory flood storage in those areas. And then on the southeast corner, we have Article 97 land, which is deed restricted land. So as a result, we don't have many on-site options for compensatory flood storage. Because the impact is so minimal, we would like to request a waiver for this requirement. Next slide. So to meet our stormwater standards, the project is going to be classified as a redevelopment under the Massachusetts stormwater standards. We do actually have a net decrease of impervious area, about 165 square feet less. There are no new untreated discharges proposed. Peak discharge rates are going to remain the same because the project doesn't really modify drainage patterns, land use, slope, or time, or concentration. Existing deep sump catch basins will provide the pre-treatment. Plus we have a newer vegetated swale that improves pollutant removal. And groundwater recharge will continue through the existing subsurface drainage and pervious areas within the buffer strips on site. Next slide, please. And some of the mitigation measures that we've proposed. We are limiting native vegetation removal to the maximum extent possible. We do have a landscaping plan, which includes native seed mix and native plantings, and the implementation of a tree protection zone for those plantings, which will restore the vegetative cover within our riverfront and buffer zone areas to a similar amount that we have right now. Stabilizing soils and slopes after construction, and all disturbed areas will be restored to existing contours, and the roadways will be repaved. For erosion and sedimentation control measures, we're putting compost filter tubes around the work area, and any soil stockpiles, which I don't believe we'll have any soil stockpiles, storm drain inlet protection, All staging of heavy machinery will be done outside the 100-foot buffer zone. Any fueling maintenance as well outside the buffer zone. And we'll have supply of speedy dry oil absorbent pads and all oil, hazardous materials, etc. Will be disposed of properly. This is just a summary of our resource area impacts. And please let us know if you have any questions.
Could you go back one slide, please?
Sure.
I just 999. Oh, okay. For that, I just looking at buffer zone. Okay. Thank you. Kyle?
Yeah, thank you for that overview. A couple comments. So one of, as you went through your presentation, I did recall another one of the comments that Mass DEP made was that they would like you to show the fill calculations at 1 foot increments rather than a total like that at 5 cubic feet. That was just one of their comments. When we, I don't think the commission should make this decision now, but the commission can find that the amount of fill added as part of this project is de minimis, meaning it has a negligible impact on the flood storage capacity of the entire area. So that is an option. We've done that before on previous projects. So we don't need to make that call today, but when the commission were to issue that order of conditions, that can be included as part of the findings. Secondly, I know we have mentioned limited projects. I've got some literature that I can send to the commission, tomorrow that kind of explains what a limited project is, so you guys can kind of understand what that means. Ultimately, I think that this is not exempt from stormwater review, so we do need to send this out for peer review. Just for the CDM folks, I have been trying to get a hold of Pat Hill, the commissioner of DPW, for the last week or so to get some input from him about
Sure.
the
And
extent of the.
I'm sorry, Kyle, I'm so sorry. I meant to say in the very beginning, Pat was unable to make it. He wanted to try to be here tonight, but he was unable to make it. So,
Yeah, and that's no problem. I just need to have a conversation with him before I actually send the peer review request out, so I have an understanding of the exact scope that he's wanting me to include in our review versus because this is a city project. And I just don't know where the kind of the lines are between DPW, a peer review of the stormwater on our end, and then like what he thinks the stormwater authority ought to be doing, if anything, for a review like this. So I just need to sit down with Pat and have a conversation with him about what the extent of the stormwater review should be as far as he's concerned from the city's standpoint. But that's a discussion that I can have with him outside of this. And once I get a better understanding of what his thoughts are on what the extent of the stormwater review should be. You guys did the plan for the Warren Avenue two-way conversion project as well,
Yes.
right? Okay, so on that project, I believe that the commission limited their review of the stormwater to only the areas that are within the commission's jurisdiction. So that may be what we end up doing here. I just want to have that conversation with Commissioner Hill before I send that out. But ultimately, my recommendation to the commission is that we do send this out for peer review because at least the portions that are directly within the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction do need to be reviewed for stormwater compliance. And depending on that conversation with Pat, it may be more than that or just limited to those areas.
Okay.
Kyle, I do have a question regarding the 1 foot elevation increments. Lisa, can you go to slide number 12, please?
Is that this here?
Yeah, so we did provide fill and cut volumes for each 1 foot elevation below 94. Is there something different that the commission is looking for?
No, this may be it. Like honestly, that packet was like 200 pages long. The reviewer at Mass DEP may just not have seen this table in there. So this is likely what they were looking for. So if that's the case, we can kind of ignore this comment. Obviously, the peer reviewer will take a look at this as well, but this is what they were looking for.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
So thank you for letting us know that was included in the submission. But obviously, it's a very dense packet.
And you knew it so quickly. It's very impressive.
So other than that, I don't really have any questions. I think it's a good project. That intersection does need a lot of work. It is not a safe intersection currently, so I'm excited to see this come to fruition.
It'll be interesting to see the change if you said one lane in each direction, how that will work. That should be interesting.
Yes, I mean, based on the traffic volumes and everything else, it's recommended. There was a road safety audit that was done by Old Colony Planning Council, and that was something they recommended, was to reduce the amount of pavement width so that it is just one travel lane in each direction. So we're accomplishing that with median islands. So, and then there'll be a traffic signal here.
Let me see if there's any other questions. Commissioners, any questions? Comments?
No questions for me.
No? Is there anyone from the public? Anyone from the public that would like to speak to this particular item on the agenda?
I see no hands raised, Madam Chair.
Okay, then we would entertain a motion, I believe, to refer this out to third party peer review.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion for the NOI of Center and Plymouth Street intersection improvements to be moved to peer review.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to send this to peer review. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Matt, aye.
Talbot, aye.
Boris, aye.
Leon, aye.
Okay, that motion passes. Motion then also to continue till next meeting on December 17th.
Make a motion to continue this project to the next meeting, December 17th.
I second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Matt, aye.
Talbot, aye.
Boris, aye.
Leon, aye.
And that motion passes as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right,
Have a
thank
good
you.
night.
I'll try to follow up with Pat again, later this week, and hopefully we'll connect. And then
Kyle, I'd love to get that information about the limited, because
I'll send that out to the commission tomorrow.
Good, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks
thank
very
you.
much.
Have a good night.
Good night. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Thanks, you too.
Your favorite holiday.
Good pies.
Okay, let's see. The last one, right? Lucky 13. It's another RDA. It's for 331 Oak Street. No, this was the test pits, right?
That is correct, Madam Chair. And I think we've got at least Tim's here. Welcome. Thanks for your patience, Tim. You're at the very, very end tonight. Sorry.
Hi, Mr. Carpenter. Hello.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Tim Carpenter, City of Brockton Parks Department. So I will try and be quick, as I know the hour is late. But about a year ago, I was able to go down to Roger Williams Zoo, Park Zoo, and look at their stormwater infrastructure that they have down there. I then registered through the SNEP network for some training and development of conceptual designs for some stormwater management at DW Field Park. SNEP network then followed up with putting out a RFP for designers to get those conceptual plans to 30% design completion The company chosen was the Horsley Witten Group. Unfortunately, their representative wasn't able to make it there to this meeting tonight, so you're stuck with me instead. Anyways, part of that, getting those conceptual designs to 30% design is involves a couple of test pits in the two locations. I will have to rely on Kyle for the maps if he doesn't mind. So we're basically looking for soil types in those areas and static groundwater levels, so that we can determine the proper final design for what we hope to install in the future to control the stormwater at DW Field Park. So that is the current map that's being shown there, is just outside the parking lot past Tower Hill. That pit probably will be a little bit deeper than the other, but I don't think we'll hit groundwater there as it is significantly elevated from the water. Again, two test pits. There's the one in that location, and then there's one closer to the parking lot off of Oak Street. And that one there, that one, obviously, we will hit water pretty quick. That's going to be a one scooper, I imagine. And then, obviously, any tailings are returned back to the holes.
So why would you do test pits in areas where you already have a really good idea how they're going to come out?
Well, I think two reasons. One, that area pictured currently, there are 3 established paved sluices that direct stormwater directly into the pond. And it's really a goal of ours to try and eliminate that condition. So the design there's approximately 12 feet between the water and the edge of the road. So it may be that the test pit is much closer to the road, which is where the stormwater management infrastructure would be installed, so that we have the depth that we need to allow for the construction of the structure, as well as the infiltration and filtering processes.
So you're going to be putting something under there that would actually capture the water and collect it.
We are hoping to put something in there that will, at minimum, filter the water before it gradually seeps back through the ground into the pond instead. And that way it filters out all the surface debris. There is a significant amount of trash, unfortunately, that makes it into those surrounding bodies of water. So our goal here is, in the long term, to protect those bodies of water from pollutants from the roadways.
And if the groundwater is too high there, that's not a good place to put it, is that?
So that is a concern, but there are ways that we could design and construct it that may build up along the edge of the pond there just a little bit. Creative little bioswale heavily planted with native grasses is a possibility. So again, these test pits are to determine exactly how much we may have to sort of build that bioswale, as well as to see the exact soil types present there.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me just see. Kyle?
Yeah, no, I think that was a pretty good summary, Tim. Thank you. Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on the last comment there, like, why test pit by the road when there's like 2 foot of clearance between the elevation before you get to like where the water table is? A, to characterize the soils, but B, not all stormwater management is subsurface treatment. So as Tim was alluding to, this could be if we determine that type of treatment isn't applicable in this location, then you might look at bioswales or developing a more robust buffer. And that's also a type of stormwater management. So by characterizing the soils in this location, that informs what the engineers can propose to get to the level of treatment that we're looking for.
That makes sense.
Okay. As far as the conservation review, I guess we'll start with the this one. This is a little more straightforward. Uh, so this is the Tower Hill parking lot by Waldo Lake. This test pit, as we're looking at this map, the yellow line here is the 50-foot buffer, approximate to the bank here. Horsley Witten, is that the group?
Horsley Witten,
Horsley
yes.
Witten. Tim and Horsley Witten reached out to me and asked if they could just do like an approximate, resource area, delineation here and just use these shape files that are on Mass Mapper. And for this, I think it was close enough for what we need. So this is approximately 50 feet or beyond 50 feet of the buffer to the bank of Waldo Lake. As Tim mentioned, there's a pretty significant elevation change from where this test pit is being proposed to the actual water, of Waldo Lake. I'll show some photos here in a moment, but it's probably, maybe 15, 20 feet of elevation difference pretty easily from where the parking lot is and where this test pit's proposed to the actual, bank of Waldo Lake. So this test pit is solely within the buffer zone, and that's in opposition to this test pit down in Upper Porter Pond, which is much closer to the water, the bank of Upper Porter Pond, and then B, it is within the floodplain, which is notated by this kind of orange shading through here. So that does kind of inform the type of determination that the commission can issue, but ultimately I think both of them can be permitted. So my recommendation for both of these in one determination is that the test pit up at Waldo likely, well, not likely. I think it does meet the minimum exemption, sorry, it's been a long night. So it meets the qualifications for a minor exempt activity. So when you're doing work that's involved with planning, so soil tests are part of that. And you're only within the buffer zone, and you're like 50 feet away from the resource area, you don't need to file with the commission. So I think this does meet the standards for that minor exempt activity, and we can call that out specifically in the determination. But because this second pit down by Upper Porter Pond is not just within buffer zone, but also within bordering land subject to flooding, we do have to issue some additional determinations on that. So my recommendation to the commission is that for this test pit here, Upper Porter Pond, that we issue a -2 determination, stating that the work described in the request is within an area subject to jurisdiction under the Act, but will not permanently, remove, fill, dredge, or alter that area. There will be a temporary impact the day that they're doing this work, but as is described in the narrative, this will be backfilled with the same material that they're pulling out after the soil is characterized. If there's grass in the area that is being excavated, they'll be removing that grass as carefully as possible, setting that aside, doing the excavation, and then putting that grass kind of patch back in place. So that's kind of how it's going to be the work that's being proposed. However, I do recommend that we also, similarly to some other projects that we've reviewed tonight, that the commission can entertain the idea of issuing a -3 determination as well, if there are any stipulations that the commission wants to require. And I think that you might have some better ideas after I show you some photos of the kind of topography of that area. And then finally, just to kind of close things out, I'm recommending that we issue a positive 2B determination, stating that we're not confirming these wetland or the resource lines, because this wasn't actually officially delineated. So all that said, at this point, again, I'm not really concerned about the Waldo Lake excavation and soil testing here. I think this is basically exempt from review. It doesn't really need commission approval.
Kyle?
Yes.
I just have a very quick question. So you use a backhoe
Yeah.
and
Yes.
you dig until water is reached or 10 feet down? How big, like, what's the circumference of the hole, or whatever, what's the diameter of the hole?
Right.
Is
So
it-
I that's not
how big
included
is
in the
the-
narrative. I don't know that, Tim. Are you aware of the size of the backhoe? They just mentioned backhoe.
I
Right,
just didn't know how big the
so-
hole was.
Right, so The backhoe, the width of the bucket is 26 inches, I believe it is.
Yeah.
In the Waldo Lake area, I would be surprised if we went down much more than 3 feet, to be honest with you, because we know we're not going to hit water there. And going down 3 feet, you'll probably go till you get to the sandy soil, which is probably about 3 feet in that location. I would venture to say that we will get less than 3 feet in this particular area that's pictured here because it is right along the pond.
Yeah. So this is the Upper Porter Pond right off of Oak Street. That's this portion that we're looking off of. That's right next to the roadway. So you can see there's a slight elevation change from the road elevation. This grass slope that goes down to a lower area that's right next to the bank. And so I'm not sure, Tim, where through this approximate 12-foot width buffer the excavation will be taking place. Do you know if it's gonna be closer to the road or like down here?
So I think it is, so right about where your cursor is now, there's
Yeah.
actually an old grown over asphalt path. So
Okay.
it'll be on the road side of that asphalt path.
So somewhere on the slope,
Yeah,
probably.
just off of where it looks like there's a little foot trail there right along. No, little
Oh, down
to,
here.
yeah, so it'll be just off of right there.
Okay. All right. So in this area here.
Yep.
So I know that this is going to be done. Basically, this is an afternoon project for both of these pits. This is not going to be several days worth of excavation or anything. And the fill will be put back immediately afterwards. Obviously, this work won't be done in the middle of a rainstorm, so the risk of runoff is fairly low. However, if the commission is more comfortable with the inclusion of erosion controls around where this material will be staged as it's removed before it's put back in, that is certainly a condition that can be added here. Again, I'm more concerned about this location on Upper Porter Pond than I am with the Waldo Lake. I'm gonna just go through a few more photos by the Waldo Lake area, just so the commission has a better idea. So this is the area by Waldo Lake, up by that parking lot. And we're again about 50 feet from the actual bank of the water over here. I've got another photo that kind of shows the kind of slope. So there's a pretty, it's not a steep slope necessarily, but it's a pretty significant elevation change from this area where the pit will take place to the waterway, or to the water body down here. So I don't know that any erosion controls or anything would be necessary here, but I would be kind of concerned potentially about this. So up to the commission's discretion, you may choose to require erosion controls, or potentially even me to be on site when this excavation is done. Really up to the commission. But yeah, so my recommendations are those negative determinations, that positive 2B, and then if you want to add stipulations, we certainly can.
And the other question, and it did say in the report that the choices, either groundwater is encountered, refusal. So I guess that's like getting into the rock and stuff like that. Is that refusal? Or 10 feet in depth? And I was a little bit concerned because there's a lot of kids that hang out, 10 feet deep trench is pretty. Is it a trench? Is it just a hole? That's pretty deep.
It's just a hole. Basically, they're digging straight down. And again, this isn't going to be open, for any period of time. People will be there doing the work, and then as soon as they hit one of those things, 10 foot in depth, water level, water table, or refusal where they can't dig anymore, that's the extent of that excavation, and then they backfill it immediately. There will be people, workers doing this labor there the whole time, so. The risk of, passerby accidentally falling in is, I won't say never, but,
Yeah.
pretty minimal.
And I will be on site the entire time that this is going on as well.
Okay, good. Okay. Sounds good.
So, all that said, I think the commission can issue a -2 determination, period. That just says that the work's not going to permanently impact the bordering lands of the flooding or the water body. If the commission wants to add any stipulations, we can do that through a -3. And then the second definite thing we should issue is a positive 2B, saying that we're not confirming the delineation. And the -3 is optional if you want to add stipulations.
I personally wouldn't mind having some kind of erosion control around the
Around the
spoils,
staging
whatever it is.
area for the excavated material.
Mhm.
For both or just this one?
Just the upper porta pond, I would say.
Just this one here. Yeah, the one right by the water. That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarification. It's really great that you're going to be doing something with the park, though. It's wonderful.
Yeah, this is part of a larger project to hopefully do from Oak Street all the way up to Old Pond Street in Avon. So
Wow.
design structures at least around those two sections of the park.
Great. So we do have to see if there are anyone from the public is here for comment.
No hands raised, Madam Chair.
Okay. So then I entertain a motion for some determinations, right?
Yeah, you want me to rattle them off real quick?
Sure.
So this would be a -2 determination, a -3 determination requiring erosion controls around the material staging at the Upper Porter Pond excavation or soil test site, and then a positive 2B determination stating that we're not confirming wetland or any of the resource boundaries.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion, please?
I'm sorry, what was the last one, Kyle?
Yeah, a positive 2B stating that the stated resource areas are not being confirmed. So like we're not confirming the bank to Upper Porter Pond or the bank to Waldo Pond. Waldo Lake, excuse me.
So I make the motion to issue the -2, the -3 with the erosion controls in the staging area, and a positive 2 determination, not confirming any of the resource boundaries.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Versailles.
Leon, I.
Okay, that motion passes. And I think we'll need a motion to close the hearing for 331 Oak.
I make a motion to close the hearing for 331 Oak.
I second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Versailles.
Leon, I.
And that motion passes as well.
Terrific.
Thank you, Tim.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see you out there.
Thank you.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Speaking of motions to close.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Yep, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second, anyone?
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Clay, aye.
Map I.
Talbot, aye.
Versailles.
Leon, I.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone. See you in a couple
Thanksgiving.
weeks.
Good night.
Thank you.
Take care. You guys are wonderful. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.